Welcome back, guys, to the series where we're going to be building a Lambda extension from scratch. In the previous video, we talked about what Lambda extensions are, some of the benefits in terms of using them, and what it is that we can actually achieve by using Lambda extensions. So in this video and the next subsequent videos, what we're going to be doing is we are actually going to be building the extension from scratch. I'm actually quite excited about this because when you look quite broadly in terms of the documentation, what's out there, it's not really easy to kind of put that together into a working application. So we're going to be starting off with that, and it's going to be written in Node.js. Again, there weren't many resources for this, so hopefully this becomes quite a good resource for anybody who's attempting to do this. In this particular video, we are going to be setting up the file structure, downloading the packages that we need, and starting to work on the entry file of the extension, which will be the index.js file, and then we'll work on the helper functions as well that are going to be quite important as throughout the life cycles of the lambdas. So let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to have two folders. One is going to be called extensions, and then the next one is going to be called metrics. I'm going to call it metrics extension. Okay. Essentially, this extension is going to try and extract extensions from Lambda functions in order to send them or dispatch them rather to some other metrics system. It could be anything, right? You could send these to App Dynamics, you could send these to Grafana, you could send these to whatever, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that this extension is going to extract those first. So you see I have two folders here. The extensions folder is very important because what will happen is we, at the end of of our extension, and through our testing as well, you'll notice that we will zip the extension. And what will happen is that when we upload it as a layer on the console, what Lambda will do during the init phase of the extension is that it will extract it'll extract the zip file, and it'll look in this particular file to look for a script that will then start the extension as a separate process. So that's why we have these. And inside the metrics extension, that's where we're going to have the actual code for our application. And speaking of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the index.js file, and then I'm going to create the helpers.js JS file. And then what I'm going to do as well is let me open up the terminal here. Open up the terminal, change that over to git bash. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cd into metrics extension. I'll just rename this so that it's correct. Just rename that quickly. So now if we cd into that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say npm init. Okay. It's going to be very simple, nothing crazy at all. Then once I've done that, I'm going to install express node fetch for now. That's what we'll do for now. Cool. While that is happening, cool. So now if we come here, okay, these have installed yet, so we'll just wait for them. Okay, cool. If we go here now, there's our packages over there. Express and node fetch. Express will be important in when we build the listener server for the telemetry API, and then node fetch will just be important as we do API calls to the extensions API to the telemetry API, and so that's what these are going to do. And then so now we're kind of done with that. So if we come into, so in here, we're going to create a file that's going to be the executable file to start the entire application. but importantly, that we have to name it exactly what we have to give it the exact same name as the extension folder itself. Yeah, so we're gonna have to call it metrics extension. Okay, metrics extension over here, and then inside of that, we're just gonna have a single line. So we're gonna have start off our script by saying, okay, bin bash, and then we're gonna say node, and then what we're saying is, sorry, we're gonna then write the directory where the extension entry file is. So Lambda extracts these into a folder called opt. So inside of there, we're then gonna have to write the name of the extension, and then we're gonna write the entry file. That's all we need to do in this file, right? So that's how Lambda is going to initiate this essentially this extension, right? Cool. Now what we're going to do is we are going to then look at the index.js, right? And all we're going to have here for now, we're going to progressively add more code to this, but all we're going to have here now is essentially an immediately invoked function, right? And I'm going to call it, sorry, I'm going to call it main for now, right? And I'm going to make it async because we are going to have to do some awaits essentially. Okay, so cool. And then what I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to say console.log starting extension. Nothing fancy. Cool. So if we were to say node index.js, okay, cool. See, our extension is starting. The other thing we can do is, okay, I think I'll leave that for the next video. But yeah, that's all we need here for now. Then in the helpers, we're gonna have functions that are really gonna help us during some processing that we need, right? And so we're gonna have a function called handle shutdown. Okay, it's gonna be passed in an event, and then we're gonna have another one called handle invoke. Okay, I'm gonna make it async. It's gonna be passed an event, and that's what's gonna happen there as well. Sorry, no, this is a error function. Okay, cool. That's all we're gonna do here. And then what's gonna happen essentially with this shutdown, we're gonna end the process. We're gonna exit. We're gonna exit the process, and this will shut down the extension. And then with the invoke, for now, all we're gonna do is we're gonna say console.log, and then we're gonna say info, and say function invoked. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass it the request ID at some point. So we're gonna get an event ID from this, and we're gonna pass it there essentially for now. And we can do a lot of things, but that's all we're gonna do for now. So yeah, that's the first video toward building a Lambda extension from scratch. I hope you enjoyed that. In the next video, we're gonna start looking at registering the Lambda extension with the extensions API. And so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.